she committed horrible acts of child abuse. From May to August in 2023, Ms. Franke and her business partner held her 2 children, ages 9 and 11, turning 12, in a concentration camp-like setting.
Ruby Franke stands before a judge as the state requested she serve the harshest possible sentence for the 4 counts of aggravated child abuse she pleaded guilty to.
For the past 4 years, I've chosen to follow counsel and guidance that has led me into a dark delusion.
In her statement, she said she was misled by Jodi Hildebrandt's religious teachings and cried as she apologized to her children as her 2 oldest, Chad and Sherry Franke, stared blankly from the audience.
My willingness to sacrifice all 3 was masterfully manipulated into something very ugly. How terrifying this must have been for you.
Judge John Walton sentenced Franke to 1 to 15 years for each of her counts to be served consecutively. Shortly after, Hildebrandt took her seat in the courtroom. District Attorney Eric Clark saying much of the same things as he did in Franke's hearing about the abuse, but adding that Hildebrandt is a significant threat to the community.
After being caught, Ms. Hildebrandt has shown little to no remorse for her actions. In telephone conversations that will be provided in full to the Board of Pardons and Parole, and which she knew to be recorded, she's repeatedly claimed that she is the victim and the children are the perpetrators.
In a much shorter statement than Franke, Hildebrandt addressed the children, during which Chad and Sherry Franke looked shocked, smirking when she spoke of her love for them and their siblings.
I sincerely love these children. I desire for them to heal physically and emotionally.
Judge Walton giving Hildebrandt the same sentence, this time tacking on comments about Hildebrandt's behavior and her responsibility as a licensed counselor at the time of the abuse.
Ms. Hildebrandt, this circumstance is tragic. It's largely, of course, of your making. By any measure, your conduct in this case was disastrous for these children. Adults are supposed to protect children. Adults with specialized training in particular are supposed to protect children.
The day ending with 2 similar sentences, but different in the defendant's acceptance of wrongdoing.
We've seen Ms. Franke express quite a bit of remorse and be super willing to work with us. And Ms. Hildebrandt just has not expressed any remorse and continues to justify her perspective of things.
Clark says their heinous crimes were motivated by their religious faith.
At the end of the day, this is a case about religious extremism, and I think that Ms. Franke's statement kind of got into that. These guys went down a rabbit hole, and Ms. Hildebrandt believed that she was regularly talking to God, and Ms. Franke was following the direction that she was getting from Ms. Hildebrandt.
Chad, Sherry, and their father, Kevin Franke, who has filed for divorce from Ruby Franke, walked out of court with no comment. And again, Franke and Hildebrandt were both sentenced to 4 consecutive terms of second-degree felony child abuse of 1 to 15 years. But according to state law, the maximum time they could spend in prison is 30 years. In St. George, Lucy Nelson, Fox 13 News, Utah.